What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jalen. This is my 2018 Civic Si sedan. In the last video, we threw new tires on and took them on a trip. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure to go back to my profile and watch it. Today, we are installing these puppies right here. Now, if you don't know what these are, this is a rear camber kit for this car. These are actually from K-Tuned. These are gifted to me by my brother for my birthday / Christmas, since they are kind of close. So shout out to him for getting these. Now, if you do lower these cars, the rear naturally does have more camber than the front after lowering, and it's not a big issue for most people, but for alignment reasons and since I want to make these tires last as long as possible, we are going to be installing a rear camber kit. As you can see, the car is all ready. I had it reverse into the driveway, so all that's left to do is jack up the car and get to working. So let's do it. I do have a wheel chock in the front and the car is in gear, so should this jack fail, at least it won't slip and go tumbling down the driveway since everything is locked. Now if we come look in the arches, you can see that this is the camber arm that we're going to be replacing today. There's two mounting points. There's one right here. There's one all the way in there. I am going to get started on the driver's side first because I heard this one is the harder one of the two because of the filler neck and various like plugs and wires all around. Finally got the stock camber arm out. It was a bit annoying to get out, so the videos weren't lying. This was a pretty hard thing to do because you can't really see it, but all the way in here is where that back bolt goes to mount, and you have about this much room to fit a wrench. So this wasn't bad at all. This took like all about 15 seconds. This one was a bit harder, but it was, you know, it's manageable. It just kind of sucks because you have limited space. But what I found works for me is this ratcheting wrench with a 12 point. So you can like go a quarter turn at a time. It's really time consuming, but you know, in the end you do get it out. So let's go throw the new ones in. Here's a new arm for comparison. You see, this is where the part where the camber actually gets adjusted. So you have two locking nuts on either end, and then this is the part that you would spin with a wrench to either increase or decrease camber. You can tell the design is very robust, so I'm excited to see how this looks on the car, as well as how well it can fix the alignment for my needs. I actually lied, there's one more thing you should do before throwing it on the car. Right here I'm just matching the aftermarket arm to the length of the stock arm. So what you can do is a really easy trick. You just take the bolts that help you mount it onto the car and you slide it through both of the holes. And normally, since this will be all the way short, this will like not line up. So what you do is just kind of extend it, and then once this bolt can go in pretty easily, you have it matched pretty good. So now you can tighten down these locking nuts on that adjusting ring. Make sure it doesn't spin, and then you just hand crank that with a wrench and then throw it on the car. Okay, finally got that back bolt in, and I got it about as tight as you can get it with the limited amount of space you have. Now, one thing I did forget to mention, before you go install this on the car, you actually want to keep this loose, and then once you have it into its mounting place, like in there with the bolt through it, then you can tighten down these rings. So let's go do that now. I think for this part too, it'll be easy if I use the jack to kind of lift this whole assembly up and make aligning the holes easier. So I'm just gonna put the jacking point right on the bottom of the control arm, and hopefully that kind of... Alright, that did absolutely nothing. I'm gonna go grab a hammer. Okay, finally got that camber bolt back in. I actually had to loosen the back one a little bit just so I have room to move it up and down like this. Oh, oh my god, come on. The one thing with suspension, you want to kind of have everything loose enough to where it's, you know, shapeable and malleable so you can get it into these hard to fit spaces. And then once everything's secure, you can go tightening everything down. So we'll start with, actually we'll do the locking rings last. So I'll do this front and then kind of snug it up, and then tighten the back, and then tighten this more, and then do the locking rings. Got everything in, everything's secure, everything's tight. Tighten the back bolt, tighten this hardware, and the locking ring. So everything should be secure, shouldn't go anywhere. Take a look, you can kind of see them peeking out from behind the springs. Looks pretty cool. But honestly, you won't be able to see it under the car anyways, but this will be a big help in fixing alignment. So let's go do the other side now. I think this side should be a lot quicker because now you don't have the filler line or the filler neck and then the various wires that get in the way, but still looks like it's a little bit of a tight space, but it's manageable. There you go, got the second camber arm in, everything's tightened, a little bit dusty. Alright, that's finally over. Got the old one right here. Now let's get these wheels back on. The car is super high in the air because I had the e-brake engaged. Once I turn the car on and let the e-brake off, it should go down. Okay, now I'm getting a first look at the car. I don't know if it looks this high because we're on a slope, so it's kind of like nose diving. This side looks a bit more flush, but it doesn't look like it's gonna have rubbing issues. So yeah, it should be okay. All right, that pretty much wraps it up for the camber arm install. You can see it was pretty difficult. I think altogether it took me about 4 hours. So not the hardest thing in the world, but definitely time consuming and very labor intensive. You know, there's not a lot of space to work with, especially for that back bolt to get it off, but it is possible. So with that being said, the next stop is the alignment shop, so I'll see you guys there.
Let's count our down.
Not you.
So that means it could be up to 5 guys up there?
It's possible.
We should have fucking shotguns.
I paid the price to rock this ice. Tell me what you niggas know about sacrifice. about sacrifice, yeah. I pray every night, cause I live one hell of a life. One hell of a life, yeah. 2 shows back to back, one hell of a night, too. I pick up the chicken, then I'm right back on the flight. My dog still on lockdown, and he just sent me a kite. One hell of a life, yeah. Grew up watching my big cousin and cooking up white. Instead of sweeping, the whole neighborhood got it done. Got an old school, but it look like a new coupe inside it. Now I'm not from New York, but I'm a motherfucking giant. Went from having nothing to in Dubai shopping.
Okay, cars finally aligned. It is the next day after those clips from the alignment shop. Unfortunately, I did get pulled over on the way home from that shop, and I just didn't feel like filming for the rest of the day. But here we are, cars finally done. The fitment looks a lot better. You can see the rears poke out way more than before. And overall, you feel a difference, just a slight difference in how the car drives. What I'm really excited about now is how long these tires are going to last now that everything is straight and squared away. Toe is within factory spec, camber is within factory spec. So paired with these new tires, these all seasons, I'm looking forward to seeing how long they last given how many trips I take and miles I commute during the week. But that pretty much wraps it up for today's video. If you have any suggestions on what I should do to the car, make sure to comment them down below. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.